Hi, I'm Larry West, curator of Campbell Service Station. I met a gentleman by the name of Dwayne Campbell about 3 years ago that put this collection together. And he and I met, and he showed me his collection. He gave me a call about a year ago and said he was having his 90th birthday party. And after that, he was ready to part with it. And recently, Dwayne sat down with us and provided some valuable insight into the collection that he put together over the last 40 years.
Dwayne Campbell started the collection approximately 45 years ago. Over the years, we've added to it. Started out with a few items in my garage. Later on, we went to the basement in my house, and in 2002, we built a building just to house the collection. And this was something we all worked. My whole family worked for over 40 years to accumulate this, and it's still together. And it's still on Route 66. And I think that's just to have these things that people can see and enjoy. There's a lot of things here that a lot of people have never seen. And I've had people that have come, especially young people, and they've never seen, some of these. And just to preserve them and have them, I think is really good to have that, because things have changed so much. Some of the items that I had restored, they were really rough and really hard to work on because, like I said, some of them were over 100 years old. And some of them had really been out in the weather. And then I had to research to make sure that I got the right colors and everything was right. And I communicated with the archivist at Phillips, and they were real good in sending me pictures and telling me the colors that I needed. And then some of the colors, to get them right, were really hard. And on a few, he had to make the colors. I've got the colors, but I couldn't get the right thing, so I had to make them. So it was quite a process. I did the same thing on the graphics. Mr. Terrace at Sullivan, Missouri, worked with me on graphics, and he could make anything that if I could find the picture of, he could reproduce that so that I had everything right. The first piece was a visible pump that I bought from a farmer. They didn't need it anymore, and they just took it down and stored it. And a deputy sheriff happened to be in the area, and he noticed it, came and told me, and I bought it. We drug it home, and that's the first one that we got. And that's something that a lot of people have never seen. I remember the visible pumps a little bit, but not much. And they're a thing of the past, and there's just not many of them around. Ann taught with a lady that her parents had a filling station and a restaurant in the 30s. And she gave me a picture, and it showed a picture at the station. And on the wall of the building was a sign put out by mobile dealers, and it had Cardinals and Browns, and they kept the score on that. And this station was located on the square in Union. And as people drove around, they could look on that building and they'd keep a score. And so what I did is had that sign duplicated from the picture, and I measured the bricks so I could tell how big the sign was. And a lot of people like that because to tell the history of the Browns, which are non-existent now. I went to this company for another item, and the man said, well, I found something up in the attic that I think it goes something with a pump, but I really don't know what it is. Would you be interested in it? And I said, well, I had to look at it. Well, what it was a globe, and it was a one piece, and it was filtered gasoline. and he found it up in the attic packed in straw. And it would be in the early 1900s. That was kind of a neat thing. And that's how you that's how you come on to things, just by accident. And that was a real good find. I bought this at an auction, and and it was from Brookfield, Missouri, but I didn't know much about it. So I called the Chamber of Commerce, and they said, well, we've never heard of it, but we'll see if we can find somebody that might know about it. So a week or so, a lady called me. She was in her 90s and said that she was a niece of this Mr. Pankey, and she told me all about how many stations they had and how he started out, and it was real interesting. And then later on, they sent me a letter and a picture of the history of that. And this is a neat sign because it's got Missouri license number and so on, so I thought that was interesting.